Oh, Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes. That was funny. We
That
should have
was
done that.
amazing. And this is a lefty as well, speaking up for free speech. This is why the woke movement is dying, and we're finally getting back to some sanity in politics.
Yeah.
Have a
Exactly.
vape, mate.
So I met a friend. Her name's
Are we doing?
She said,
No, hang on, stop.
Yeah.
I introduced friends of the show.
"Oh shit, go on."
Welcome to another episode of Political Dregs. My name is Calvin Robinson, and on the podcast with me is Amir Sajady, Hamish Hunter, and Joel Davidson. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, Calvin. Hi, Hamish. Joel.
We we happen to have a vegan on the podcast, so we thought we'd talk about this case where veganism has been described as a protected characteristic. I really don't want to start with this one off because I think it's a load of absolute nonsense. So let's start with our house vegan. Amir,
Let's start with me again. Okay, let's go.
why are you a vegan? Is it for ethical reasons, religious reasons, or woke reasons? Yeah, let's start with that.
Okay, so for those who don't know, there are three compelling reasons why people become vegans. The first reason is because they believe that we shouldn't be participating in the exploitation of animals in any way or form. So that doesn't just include eating animals. It also includes kind of locking them up and producing milk or cheese or other animal products. The second reason is because of the environment. Veganism or meat production causes a huge strain on the environment in terms of the CO2 methane emissions, and a lot of trees across the whole world are being deforested to create agriculture, which goes to feed animals, which then feeds us. So it's quite a long process, and as a result, there's issues of global warming and other kind of deforestation issues. And then the third reason is for health. So veganisms in general have better health. I don't necessarily think it's because of veganism, because you can get very unhealthy vegans. But in general, it's supposed to be that if you become a vegan, that you live 10 years longer and your body just has a better ability to fight off infection and kind of heal itself. I don't necessarily think that's because of veganism per se, but it's a good reason.
Okay, so on the health aspect, that's been debunked. What's that big Netflix thing everyone's watching about veganism at the moment?
Game Changers.
Game Changers, nonsense.
Hasn't
bullshit.
been debunked.
It has been debunked,
Hasn't.
scientifically been debunked. So you can check into
It hasn't been debunked. It's been the
that.
debunking has
On
been
the health
debunked.
aspect, saying it's healthier to be vegan is nonsense as well, because it's an extreme diet, and everyone knows you have to have a balanced diet to be healthy. As for living 10 years longer, I would rather live 10 years shorter and enjoy my life than have a nice steak and have milk in my coffee, have a nice cappuccino, and just live than not and live 10 years longer.
Look. I mean, we're all kind of libertarians here. We believe in freedom of choice, but the main reason why I became a vegan was for all of the above. I felt that with all of those reasons, there was a compelling. It was impossible to just ignore the fact I was a vegetarian before anyway, which made the transition much easier. But you can't. I mean, there's a lot of people who have animals as pets, and they have kind of emotional connections with their animals.
I love
so at
animals.
the same time,
Animals are fantastic.
exactly. Oh, welcome back, Joel.
But,
I was
but
just a bit hungry.
British farmers treat their animals fantastically. You said like locking up animals to get milk, and so, that's not the case.
Well, I mean, there are issues because, for example, a dairy cow can produce milk for 5 years and then it's ground into hamburger meat. So, and the natural lifespan of a cow is about 20, 25 years. So in order to create products which we enjoy, whether it's milk or cheese or other kinds of animal products, we're willing to cut short their lives to enjoy our lives.
But I mean, they're bred specifically for it. They wouldn't be alive if they weren't there for our meat.
But I mean, this isn't an argument about the pros and cons of
True,
vegan.
very true.
I'm a liberal guy. If Amir wants to be a vegan, follow a vegan diet, that's absolutely fine. Where I have a problem, and I think this is increasingly what is going on and why I'm not very happy about this judgment about ethical veganism is the pushing on to other people. Now, you can have an argument about whether the fact that actually if you wear plastic synthetic clothes as opposed to leather and wool, it's actually worse for the environment because of all the oil that it uses, or the amount of quinoa that has to be shipped halfway across the world, or the amount of water that is used for things like avocados in the world. You can have these arguments, but fundamentally that's not what it's about. This is about an increasing sort of trend that we have. And as you said, Calvin, it's about this sort of wokeness that everyone has to follow the same sort of principles and and ways of living. And now it is veganism. So I don't have a problem with vegan options or people living in a vegan lifestyle. What I have a problem with is being pushed on everyone else, and everyone else having to subscribe to that.
But is it being pushed, Hamish? I don't think it's being pushed. Why do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, it's being pushed. I mean, the whole thing with veganuary and increasingly, you
don't have to do it.
No, but you're being sort of pushed towards it, and now we have to sort of if you're an ethical vegan, that's fine. But now apparently it comes with these special, in law comes with as a special protected characteristics. When actually it's just something that you decide to do.
Because everybody wants to be a minority. Everyone wants to be a special characterized group these days. And what I say is, if you're white and you want to know what it's like to be a minority, identify as black for a month. I don't know. Try it out.
That guy, the guy just sounds like a pretty dodgy employee. If anything, I think from a business perspective, it looks like he's. Not really. I mean, he was sacked by the League Against Cruel Sports. Which I would hardly think is a sort of hardline antediluvian employer with no sympathy whatsoever for.
What were the specifics, Joel? I'm not actually aware of the case. What were the specifics of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he's on an ongoing dispute with the League Against Cruel Sports, who he was working for,
right?
And so he was fired for gross misconduct from them. And that's an ongoing thing. And then part of that was that he claimed that this special status, but it only applies, it's not binding on other companies anyway. So I think it sounds like, he's a pretty difficult employee. Of course, there's nothing, of course.
The League Against Cruel Sports are basically the sort of people who have nothing better to do with themselves on Boxing Day than go and sabotage.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing them. So, he's saying
they are pretty nutty people. But look, the fundamental problem about this is that I will let you get in, is that we don't have any problem with people being different or having choosing to live in a different way that as long as it doesn't hurt people. But I think this is part of a wider discussion about how we are all being asked to think and view things the same way, and if we don't, we are somehow seen as bad people. Now, I eat meat, I eat dairy, I eat all of this sort of thing, and that doesn't necessarily make me a bad person. I'm a bad person for lots of other reasons. When I was on my hateful views and in my disregard for the lives of terrorists. These two don't want to get who don't want to do. But I think it's a wider problem about the way that sort of difference is increasingly on some parts of our society being viewed as unacceptable.
You know what? It does challenge my libertarian views, though. I know we say we'd like to let everyone live their own lives as long as it's not hurting other people, but it does piss me off when I see Kentucky Fried Chicken selling vegan burgers. What's vegan chicken burgers? What is the point of that? It's just annoying.
Why should that piss you off? I mean,
exactly. This is what I mean. It challenges my libertarian views.
A lot of our free market friends are loving that. I mean, the vegan sausage roll, I think, is quite good.
From Greg's as well, yeah. Vegan sausage roll. Just have something else. Why make a fake? These vegan steaks and vegan cheese? Just have a new thing.
The sausage roll discriminates against me as a Jew, so I have to have the vegan one.
Calvin. Look, people should be allowed to eat what they want.
I agree.
Okay,
within limits.
Now, vegans are trying to educate people about the causes of global warming. They're trying to educate people about kind of the ethical kind of responsibility of killing animals and how animals could live differently.
But it's not education because we know these things. You said there's not enough trees.
No, we don't.
We have more trees in the UK now than we did in the medieval times.
Okay,
this is all. It's all hype.
It's an assumption when you say that we know these things. I think if we had a broad education,
but it's an assumption that we don't know these things. To say that we want to educate us.
Some of those trees, by the way, are saplings, not actual trees. So
sure, but
if we had a comprehensive,
I want to educate you because you're ignorant. You're wrong. You don't know the right way of being.
It's not like that. Look, if you go to school, you're a teacher. In school, they teach religious studies. Yeah. They don't say become a Christian. They say this is Christianity, this is Islam, this is Buddhism, this is Hinduism, this is atheism, this is humanism, whatever. Okay. And they say
this is a balanced diet. You need
protein,
and
take your
you
pick.
Need carbohydrates, you need such.
No,
that's
not
what they say
correct. That is actually pushing your opinion on people. You should say this is people who eat meat. This is veganism who don't eat meat. This is vegetarianism.
They
this
do.
Is whatever,
they say all those things.
Fruitarianism, whatever. And then we should allow people to make their own decisions. Now, if they become unhealthy as a result of their diet, that's their responsibility and their fault. Indeed. Okay. Now, when it comes to the environment, there's another burden that we have to bear, and that is that we are in a climate emergency, and the easiest way for us to tackle this is to reduce the consumption of meat. This
is again the left woke superior perspective. You say it as if it's fact. We are in a climate crisis. Are we in a climate crisis?
I hear climate emergency. That's a bit of a CR trigger, isn't it?
That is a debatable thing, and this is what I mean about you're saying you want to educate us with your facts, but it's all it's like a cult. The veganism is a cult.
It's preachy and it's tedious.
So it's like the Tory party.
It's preachy and it's boring, and I remember coming across some sort of vegan extremist in Camden High Street who was showing me his picture of like some sort of
sandals
cage, and but they were wearing like all these like plastic clothes and stuff. They absolutely didn't give a fuck about the fact that the amount of oil that goes into that. It's just boring. Fundamentally, a bit of cheese, a bit of meat is quite nice. It's not causing the world to burn. What's causing the world to burn is the fact that China and India are pumping out huge amounts of emissions. Not, a bit of, people having a bit of cheese and a bit of chicken.
On that note, I'm going to go get some dinner. So thank you very much for watching. Please comment if you'd like to give us a topic to discuss on the next episode. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I've just got a couple of friends. We've got a couple of friends. A couple of friends of the show. We've got the adoptive Geordie, who's a big fan of Joel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. We've got Tracy Viner in Sheffield, who's a big fan of the show. Thank you for watching. Andrew Bush in Rochester and Dr. Thurlow from East Anglia University. Good to have you. Keep watching. Like, subscribe, retweet.
I thought it was Lord Thurlow.
Oh, mate, why are you interrupting?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt.
Okay. Hi, Thurlow.
And hi, Viners as well. I'm a fan of the Viners.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll cut this up into something funny. Crystal, we love you. You're not a prostitute,
but not too much.
Yeah, not like that.
Obviously, Heathhurst Road. Great to see you guys back in action.
Are they?
Yeah. Back out there. So big year for everyone, of course, in London politics.
Is that pub open yet?
I read it was definitely going to be open, so I'm sure it has. No.
No, the Magdala sadly has not been open despite
promises. Is it
not? Despite local promises, it remains closed.
I'm gonna do an impression of Joel. Hello, la la la, my mic.
Have we had any comments from our androgynous friend?
Hello, la la la, my mic.
Who's it's got very weird right now. Who's our androgynous friend?
Never mind.
Who's the androgynous friend?
He'll be watching. Don't worry.
Who's the androgynous friend?
We know
that little troll. He's about yay high.
Oh shit! Oh,
is it Gia?
No,
Yeah.
it's Calvin's best mate, the one who
Ali.
wants to have fisticuffs with,
I literally.
the one who he blocked on Facebook recently.
Oh, he's a twat.